want to discuss, as you said, Shombe said before, it's very popular thing which Moses are doing, and I was asked many times by Moses if you could do it, and I decided to write it down once and for all, since Rabbi Yehuda Green came up with the same shaila last year and this year. Is there a heter that we should say for people that the camp costs, let's say $2,000 a summer? If you pay up the full amount till like Boimer, it will cost you only $1,500. Early bird special. Can you do it? Can you not do it? And let's discuss this sugya according to the Alter Rebbe, because the Alter Rebbe has an Hilchas Ribbas, we all know, and the Alter Rebbe goes a little bit different than other poskim in some things. So therefore, I want to discuss it. We as Lubavitcher Chassidim, what could we do? And there is solutions, by the way. But again, how, what, and where, and not just do it because everybody is doing it. Now, first we have to see. You see in the Mekoires, the Alter Rebbe. Just see what the Alter Rebbe starts. We just came from Parashat Harbe Chikoisai, which the Torah writes over there, the Isra of Ribas. The Torah writes it a couple of times, but just this week we learned the Isra of Ribas, and the Alter Rebbe says, Mo'oid. And as I mentioned already, by the Shirim, the Monday Shirim, there are three places where the Halacha writes Mo'oid, because it's very hard. It's not that easy. One of the things is ribas. The Alter Rebbe moed zurich lezur b'isa ribas bein malva leroiva. Any isa ribas which has to do, which is in the malva and the loiva, and it's no difference if it's a oni or if it's a oisher. There's a kama lavim. There's a lot of lavim in Azuras which the Torah wrote on this thing. Now the Alter Rebbe adds on. If a person says, anybody wants to steal from me, go ahead, steal from me. Okay, you have a right. But when it comes to Isa Ribas, it doesn't work like this. And it's very chumar, not only to give Ribas, to take Ribas, and also to be an aid on the star, also to be a mortgage broker, if he is involved in Ribas, is a Isa Daraisa. So again, Isa Ribas is very chumar. B'chol ha'malva, siv b'ayit b'chol ha'malva b'ribas, kili koifer b'toyre, kili koifer b'lakay Yisroel, b'tzis b'tzrayim, v'ayne kom b'tchis ha'maisim. V'av b'oilam hazeh, you think you're going to make money, you should know, nechosav v'smoitatim v'kulim. You ain't going to make money from when you take ribas. Then the Alter Rebbe Siv Gimel writes that not only the loiv and the malvaros, and also the sarsa, that means the broker, anybody who has any shayches to the Indian of ribas is a iser gomer. So what is iser ribas? What is the klal? What is the nikid of iser ribas? Zug the Alter Rebbe in Sif Dalet. V'klolo she ribas. What's the klal of ribas? Kol shanoitl ma'chavayre. Anything which you take from a friend. Any schar, eise schar, badam tunas achoiv, she chayiv loy. I give a loan for someone else, and he gives me any hano which he gives me because I gave him a loan, or even not only when I gave him the loan, even when I extend the loan. I didn't give him a ribas, but now after a month he has to give it back. He says, do me a favor, I need it for another month, another 2 months, and now you start charging Issa ribas min ha-toira. Harai ze ribas shel toira. V'afilo lo pusik lo b'shas halvua, ela acher kach kishibu lo tovi, as I just mentioned, after he wants to extend it, noise lo ila harch v'zman, and he asks him any favor or any money, he says, oser in ganzen. V'im noitel schar adai mekich ha-memker, if he takes money of making a memke, that means he sells something, and then he takes schar for extending, so to speak, by selling it. That's avak ribas. Only ribas the rabuna. Again, it's still this isa ribas, but it's isa ribas with divre sofra. If what? Masamat. When it comes not through a loan, only because masamat he bought something, and you gave him time. It should go. You should pay me later. In by then, so to speak. Now again, you didn't make it alone. You didn't make it, because if you make it for a loan, that means I sell your car, and I tell you, you have the right to pay me later, but it's going to be a loan. That means it's like a loan, like they do it for a car. Then this is ribas deraisa, because that's already a lavua. But if it's not a ribas lavua, it's sold me, you have to pay me, and afterwards, since you paid me late, you gave me more. This is not a ribas derabuna. So, what is the difference between ribas deraisa and ribas derabuna? Be'etzem is this nishka grois and afkimene. Well, we are not conservative or reform, and issa derabuna are machayvas. But the only chilik is lahalochadik. Issa deraisa, ribas deraisa. You go to Bezdin, you take it out, even if you gave it. If you made a loan and you took ribas, and after a year you find, oh yeah, I paid him extra because you go to Bezdin, he has to give it back. The malv has to give it back. Issa derabunan, issa ribas, avak ribas. You don't have to give. You can go. It's not yoytze b'dayunam, but kidai shemaim you have to give it back. B'day udam, that means Bezdin cannot take it out, but akaponim b'day shemaim you have to give it out. Okay. So again, we know anything we should get from for a loan is a iser. It's called ribas. Not only that, the Alter Rebbe writes paskins, and a lot of achronim go according to the Alter Rebbe, that you cannot say thank you. That means if I lend money for someone else, and when he gives us back, he tells me a thank you, that is iser ribas, because he gave me some points want to say no, it's the nimus. It says the Alter Rebbe writes clearly, so osar, and a lot of other points can say, and I saw Shlomo Zalman also once, it was such a matzia, such a thing, and he said, be quiet. Thank you. Anything which you give because somebody lend you money, and therefore you decide to buy him chazak, it's Issa Ribas. Anything which you want to do which you wouldn't have done if you didn't have given you the loan, then it's Ibrahim. So now let's go like this.
Are you allowed to say?
Let me get to it. It's a long thing, but it's short. But we get to questions afterwards, Mitzvah. So now the question is, what is the halacha of early bird? What is early bird? Early bird means that the thing costs $2,000. Yeah, $2,000. So the summer starts, let's say July 1st. You have to pay $2,000 for July, August. Now $2,000, and you pay then. At least when you start the camp, or when every month. You could, once you start the camp, you're going to see soon. Then you can pay over the whole thing. But akapunam, you have to start camp. Then it costs $2,000. You tell for this man, for the people, if you give me in the next 2 weeks, still like boyman, you have to pay only $1,500. What does that mean? That means that you have to pay it only July 1st. You giving me now money that I should be able to use, and therefore you're giving me a loan. Since you are giving me a loan, I am reducing the price of the camp from $2,000 to $1,500. That's ribas. That's exactly ribas. Because why am I giving you a discount? Because what? Okay, let's assume the rebuna. Well, so make chememket. Aber akapunam sof kosof the metzias is that if I am getting money and I could use it, so therefore it is a problem of ribas, because I'm giving you a discount for giving me money that I should be able to use. And Moses wants to have this early bird because they want more money, they could run the camp. So that's a problem for Israelis. Now, there are some camps which will do it regularly. Why? What is the reason? Because there are some poiskim which they want to. Let's first see the halacha. See the next quote. Shulchan Aruch. Yadaya kif ein hai. Ein poiskim ala peiris al shar shel ayuris. Mit nesh eine kivua. That's the halacha which says that if I give you money, I want to buy grapes. There's no grapes now. I cannot buy grapes. Grapes is sukkahs. But I want to give you money. Now, if I get some grapes, it's very expensive because it's not. You have it. You have to bring it from whatever. It costs a pound, $10 a pound. Let's assume. But come sukkahs, when everybody has paid us, it's only $5 a pound. So I'm going to a soicher and I tell you, listen to me. I need 100 pounds of grapes. I want to make wine. Kingston is famous for his wine. People, every other people make wine. So I want to have grapes for sure. Do me a favor. 100 pounds of grapes. I'm giving you now the money. And what is the money I'm paying you now? Even though now it costs $10, I'm giving you $5 because because ich get for $5. Give me, now grapes cost $10 a pound. But you giving me $5 the way when I'm going to take it, because I'm paying right away. Zoek te hebben, you cannot do it. You cannot do it, that's min ribas. You're giving me a loan, and therefore I'm giving you grapes which cost $10, I'm giving you only for $5. So therefore that's ibis ribas. There's only why, zoek te hebben, our when you if there is in the Medina, there's one place where you could buy grapes for $5, then you could give it. Although everybody charges $10, since you could buy it and I could give it to you right away, so that's already okay. That's Yutzi Ashar. So we see again, buying something now, paying him later, and giving the price of later now because I lend you money. That's awesome. Kim the Shechanor next Simon Kif Einwurf Sivches. The same halacha which we just said, it has to do with pirates when you purchase the stuff. Zoekt of them the halacha. Same thing with a poil. Asoicher is a poil. Winter, there's different price winter than summer. A worker on winter charges more than in summer because it's cold, it's not so comfortable. So he's soicher as a poil. I'm giving you now $100 because I want you should come and give me what he wants, you should come work for me in the summer, and I'm paying you now. You should give me the price, which is going to be the cheaper price because I'm paying you now. Yeah, because I'm paying you now. It looks as the summer is given cheaper. Okay, so therefore, I'm paying you now for the summer price. Yeah, but I'm paying you now. So you're giving me a price which now it's cost $10. You give me for $5 because I pay you now. I'm paying. That means I'm I'm hiring a guy. Winter, last summer, you should work for him in summer. And it pays him now. And the summer is much more expensive. User can't. If you say you're hiring him now and he has to work till after summer, and I'm giving you the price of the cheaper price, that's something else because he's starting now. Yeah, since he's starting now, since it's an ungeheuben, that's fine. So now, when it comes to summer camp, that's why I said before, July 1st, if the Moisés says, I want all $2,000 right away. That means although it's, let's say, $1,000 per month, and it says, give me $2,000 right away. Yeah, that's not a problem because since they started already, it's not a problem. And then they can say also, if you give me monthly, $1,000, it will be $2,000. If you give me right away, it will be $800. That's also fine because the camp started already. It's like a poel which started already. But if it didn't start, you cannot do that, giving cheaper when it comes later. So what is the heter of early bird? Now there are some Moses will do it because there are some poskim which say that it's not an issue. Why? It's not an issue. Because they hold that there's a Magid Mishnah, but the Magid Mishnah says that this what we said, the Mechaber says, a poil, you cannot pay for a poil now when it's going to be later. That's only a poil which is a schiriyom. Only a poil which is a schiriyom. A poil which is a kablan, it's not an issue. What is a poil schiriyom? Schiriyom means I hire a person. We spoke already in Lent when we spoke the Monday Shir, when we learned Schiris Kablunas, the Gabba Shabbos. A schiriyom means I'm taking you should work for me per day. That means dibes mi meshibet today from 9 to 5. I can tell you what I want. You have to 5 o'clock. You clock out. Even if you're in the middle of you have to plow a field. Yeah, you have to make a dress. Comes 5 o'clock. You hired me for $35 a day. 5 o'clock. Goodbye. I'm not here really. He doesn't finish. He has to finish the thing. So that means he's a schir. I hired him for a day. Then there's such a thing as a kablan. What is a kablan? Kablan you don't hire per day. Kablan means I'm paying you $100, make me a dress. When to make it, where to make it, I don't care. I need it for Shavuos. Till then you have to give me, I'm hiring you on the job, not on the day. Again, you're taking a cleaning lady is a schiryon because she hires on the day, on the hour. Every hour that's a schiryon.
Just curious, why is he called a kablan? What's the...
A kablan means he makes a kablan on the job. Kablunas on the job. That's that job. The kablan means I'm not on time. It's on the job, on the pillar. He takes the language. I don't know. It's skippish. I don't know why. Yeah, that's a kablan. So always, most of the jobs which we have is kablunas, except if you know, when it goes to I gave a marshal then I gave the marshal a programmer, usually goes on the hour. It doesn't go on the job. Some programs some programs where you purchase a program, it goes $10,000 this program. But when you have an IT guy, he works an hour. He was here an hour, you pay him $35. It goes per hour. So again, Schiryom is one thing, and kablan is the other thing. So the Nekid said what it is, Schiryom is for sure a problem. That's a poil. Kim the Magid Mishnah says, if it's kablonis, it's not a problem. Why? Because it says Schiryom, why is it a problem? Schiryom is the halacha in Choshen Mishpat. If I hire a guy, come to work for me from 9 to 5, 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, he decided I don't want to work. I'm giving up. You know, whatever I did, pay me per hour, I want to leave. Zukt of them, he could do it. He can do it. Why? Because there's a pasuk, we heard it this week, Kli b'nai Yisrael avodim. The Rebbe says, Klal Yisrael avodim for me, avodai hem, they're my slaves, v'lo avodim la'avodai. You are not slaves for someone else. So therefore, if a person, if he comes from 9 to 5 and at 3 o'clock in the afternoon decides he doesn't want to work, you don't let him, what happens? He's your slave. Someone could be a slave for his whole life. Someone could be a slave for 7 years. Someone could be a slave for 8 hours. But my list, he could stop poil, could stop in the middle of the day. I'm not going to prove them. I want to get to the Nikiddah. Zug the Mag Mishnah, that's a din only in a poil, not in a kablan. A kablan, when a kablan says, that means you said, I'm making you a dress, and $100 a dress, and he decides in the middle of the day, I don't want it. You cannot stop us. So therefore, is was is of the arbeit, is of the peila, and those are all the Magid Mishnah. So therefore, some poskim pasken, tres poskim pasken, that since the guy
who can be choizer, the kablan or the person who hired
the kablan cannot be choizer. So therefore, is Maila Alten Zai, as when I give for the Mahanula, when I give for Yehudi Green, for instance, I give him $1,500 till like Boyman, that means he's a kablan. Yeah, it's not a Schiryom, it's a kablan. So therefore, it's not a problem. A kablan is okay, and therefore, it's not a problem. And on this, some poskim, some Moses will rely on, because some poskim go with it. And Mushal Rav Yashiv paskin tazoi, a kablan is not an issue, so therefore, the Moses are kablonas. But the problem is like this. Huh? He doesn't get paid for a day every day which he works. He works on running a camp. Okay, so so they hold since a kablan could ein yuchalachzer. This is shittis rasha, shittis tois is a kablan ein yuchalachzer. So therefore, since ein yuchalachzer, make ich ja geben bezol. When is a schiriyom? Yeah, since he could, what's the count? When a person is a schiriyom, that means he can stop middle of the day. So if he stops in the middle of the day, automatically all the money, which even I pay him before, I give him, you have $100 because you're going to wait from 9 to 5. It comes 1 o'clock in the afternoon, yeah, he wants to stop. So a commitment, he has to give me back the rest money, which basically he didn't work. But he gave me already, I paid him already the whole money. So basically, I paid him the whole money. I gave him a loan. And he could be a choizer. So once when he's choizer, the money which I gave him from 1 till 5 is a loan. Correct?
Yeah.
The money which is choizer. So b'mayla, you're about eke choizer zan, is this a problem to give bezol? Because it could come such a situation, since he could be choizer, automatically it is going to be a loan. A loan.
So
maybe that's the problem. I feel them in the down. If you start the summer also, if it would.
Nein, ich stehe schon nicht nein, Bescheid wenn ungeheben, wie bald das schon ungeheben der Pille, ist nicht der Problem. Das ist schon genug klar. Bescheid ist schon, man hat aber wenn man geht fahren. Al Capone. So therefore, when it is Ischirion, there's a problem. Since a Kabbalah cannot be choizer, according to Rashi and Tosfos, so since a Kabbalah cannot be choizer, therefore, what is the problem? It cannot be choizer, so it's never alone. It cannot be choizer, so it's always tashluimim, so therefore it's not a problem.
Well, he could do it whenever he wants. He could do it in the winter. So he could,
What?
The Kabbalah could do it whenever he wants. He could do it in the winter.
Yeah, but he has a timetable. He has a timetable. Whatever he has a time till when he has to come. It's not open for this. I'm giving you. Make me chairs. I want to have it for Tishra. Says do a gewisse limitation. So there is the Nekid Sadvurim. But Rabbi Yankel Bloy, the famous Rabbi Yankel Bloy, which he made a Seifer Brisi Hida and Ribas, he says that this heter is a schwache heter because he says who's the Kabbalah? The Kabbalah is only the Anulas HaMoistes. All the workers are not Kabbalahs. All the people love the Kabbalahs, and also ideal only with the head of the Moistes. And he goes into the whole sigya as the Anulas HaMoistes in Nishkam Poel. Since he doesn't work, he only is mamina to get malamdam, get counselors, all these things. And who do you pay? You pay to the mamina. I'm by head of the Schilas Kabbalah. That since let's say Yehuda Green, he doesn't do the work, he doesn't teach, he's basically running the whole program. So therefore, in such a case, it doesn't come to this heter. Only when he himself is also doing, he can do it. Other than that, he has no other questions about this Nikida. And he says that basically it's not such a pusher thing that you should be able to give even for a Kabbalah. If the worker is a Kabbalah, not if only you are dealing with a Kabbalah and he has to work people underneath, then it is a problem. What?
It sounds like a broker. Yeah, is that similar to a broker?
It's not a broker, mamash. Well, Safkasov, he's arranging anything. Yeah. What?
But he's not a contractor. He's working.
He's working, but he's not working. He's administrating.
But that's working.
Yeah, he's working. That's fine. So you could pay him. Yeah. You could pay the part which is kablonas. Exactly. His part you could make this early bird. But you cannot make but a lot of this money is also for paying for the teachers, paying for the counselors. That already does not go into the heter of Kabbalah.
No, but that's not my cheshbon. When I'm paying so you get the
stuff. Since when he takes the money, even if he started working, let's say the Kabbalah started working, and we said the started working is okay. That's only the Kabbalah which started working, and also the Kabbalah. The other people, when I pay the whole thing.
He has to do the work himself.
So yeah, he has to do the work himself. Or for instance, so this part which he takes, then it's fine. You make a cheshbon how much skimtos his profit. Or you know what else you could take? When Yehuda Green has to pay for the cheder, let's say 20% of the income goes for the cheder for rent. The heilige rent, schiras batem, is also the halacha that you could pay before. So this 20% you can make the cheshbonis, but you cannot make the cheshbonis of the whole thing. It has to make 20%. You can make early bird because only 20% goes to the schiras batem. So that is the Nekid Sadvurim, which Rabbi Yankel has an issue with this Kabbalah. One second. What?
He has his workers, he's paying them also by the
Alpha Piken. Du ist eine Kiddik. So a langer Riech ist in Chosh Mishpet, as the Chilig is, where is the Kabbalah? Of the Heilige Kabbalunans you could, of the Heilige, of Nish Kabbalunans, because you don't pay that Kabbalunans which he hires. You pay it for him. So you loan him money that he should be able to pay his Kabbalunans. That's the problem. That's the ribbons. Whatever he started, or whatever he's doing, is Einzach. But in any case, let's assume that the Torah Ribas, which is the person who made this heter, let's assume in Eliashov goes according to that, but let's assume that he's right. Not like the Rabbi Yankel. The problem is the Alter Rebbe doesn't agree with this whole thing. The Alter Rebbe holds a Kabbalah has the same haluch as a schir yom. Same thing. And look at the quote which the Alter Rebbe writes, Shechanore Chilchas Ribas. You see in the quote, you cannot hire a person to make a malocha bazol, mit nashnere kamal v'lo hayoim, because you're paying today, k'tash yoizel b'schuroi, you should give you a discount, kiven she'ima yuchel lachze boi min adin, since mitzad adin, you could be choizer, shloi last is klal ha-malocha la-balabais, and then when you're choizer, hamuas shekibel meni han choiv ulav, Rai kalvua is osir. Like the Alter Rebbe, see these three words. Bain she'usa bekablonas, bain shehi schir yoim. Apoyel, even apoyel with shekablonas, is halder Alter Rebbe, nish vi Rashi in Toysvus, and Alter Rebbe halts, a kablan has a right to be choizer. A kablan has a right to be choizer. Bain b'kablonas schir yoim, the Alter Rebbe, the kablan and schir yoim is the same thing. So the whole heter, which we say the whole thing is a kablan, falls in a pit, because the Alter Rebbe holds a kablan is not a heter. So therefore, even if you the Grinish is a kablan, even if everybody is a kablan, we don't say Rabbi Yankiv Belois Cheshbon that since only he's the kablan, the other people doesn't deal with me, so therefore it's a problem. Let's assume as everybody's kablanos and I pay for everybody, a kablan is not a heter, because the Alter Rebbe holds a chiddush din that a kablan could stop in the middle of the day and say, I'm sorry, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do it, I could do it. And the Alter Rebbe writes it over here, and the Alter Rebbe writes it also Chosh Mishpat. The Alter Rebbe wrote a Chosh Mishpat some simunim, and Cheskirus Shale. The Alter Rebbe says it also over there, that a person, a kablan, could be choizer. Now, the Tzemach Tzedek, in his Shuvah, Simdach Simach Chov Ches, questions over the Alter Rebbe. Beferische gegen a Toysvus, some Beferische Toysvus, a Beferische Rashi, the Rashi says a kablan could be choizer.
Can't be.
Then a kablan can, you're right, it cannot be choizer. So he in the Tzemach Tzedek stays on B'tzurechiyah. It's interesting, Tzemach Tzedek stays B'tzurechiyah. But
He pays for whatever he did. He did a half a thing.
yeah, no, he don't. Noch einmal, you have to pay everything back. Is doch ärger. Die ganze Sache ist all vor. No, he doesn't fulfill his contract. Yeah. B'maila, this is what the Alter Rebbe, this is what the Tzemach Tzedek asked of the Alter Rebbe. But 2 years ago, he came out a sefer on Hilchos Ribos of the Alter Rebbe with a nice parish, and Menachem Eisman, says angesehen, he gave me this Matona Purim from Mishloach Monas, and I was looking what he has to say on this subject. The Tzemach Tzedek asked on it, so B'maila, we still have the heter because the Tzemach Tzedek argues. So he says that there's an Even Ozel, Mr. Zalman Melitzer, he made a sefer Even Ozel al Rambam, and he writes that there's Shittas Rambam. Alter Rebbe Pascha over Shittas Rambam, and according to the Rambam, which the Rambam holds not like the Toysus Rosh, and the Rambam holds that even a kablan could be choiz b'emtza yoim, because even a kablan goes in the halacha kliben ha'isrul avodem avudahem lo avudah. So therefore, automatically you could. There's no difference in kablan and schir in a schir yom, and that's the shit from the Rebbe. Alter Rebbe has to rely. Alter Rebbe can sich choilig sein auf der Rashi Toysus ochet. Aber to answer Tzemach Tzedek's question is, sof kol sof, we have a shittas Rambam, but Alter Rebbe paskin the Rambam. The Alter Rebbe paskin over here, the Alter Rebbe paskin also Chosh Mishpat, the same thing, that in the Alter Rebbe over there, B'schiras Kaprunas, says clearly, a kablan who decides in the middle of the day he wants to stop, he has the right, you can't say, I'm sorry, Chogimach b'dir a contract, Kili b'nai Yisrael avuda haim, and you could also be choizer, and therefore, since he can be choizer, again, as go back, since anytime you can be choizer, that means the money which I gave you, even I gave you before, I paid you the whole, making me a dress, and I paid you $100 for sewing me the dress, so I paid you already, so therefore, all the money which I paid you is halva, and by my living name, if you giving a low price, then it is a problem of riba. So going back to our case, we have an issue. We cannot, kablonis is not a heter, and therefore it is a problem. Now, the Amsran is, the Alter Rebbe writes, even if you paid before, that means, I went to the kablan, I paid him the full price, make me a dress, $100, make me a dress. When it comes to this, when you paid before, Zug the Shach Klur, the Shach in Chosh Mishpat says clear, such a case is avada nicht du as a mizachem ze kene choiz zaham, because you gave him the full money. You gave him full money in such a case. Sie gewann a shibbat kili. Sie gewann a shibbat. Bist nicht stabbat geworden. It's a kili a kinyan. So whenever you make a kinyan, you cannot be choiz. This is how the Shach says. This is a problem. So again, we're going back. The Alter Rebbe says clearly that even if I paid him before, so the Alter Rebbe clearly, even if I paid him before, I gave him the full amount of money. In such a case, my chetaisa, the Rambam is masking to this. The Rambam tells Bechal if a kabbalah could stop. But who tells my chetaisa, as the Rambam holds, that even when a person got the whole money, that could be really a kinyan, and once you make a kinyan, of course you cannot. If I go to a person and I tell him you have to do this, and I make a fully kinyan, then I can't choices on. It's a contract. You sign a contract. Sign a lease with a contract with somebody. You cannot be choizer in the middle. So there's no problem for Kli B'nai Yisrael Avudam. No, so there's no problem for B'nai Yisrael Avudam. Weil sich mischayev gewinnt. So bei Meile, weil sich mischayev gewinnt, so the Alter Rebbe says, if I gave the money, so kinyan moment. The shach is so clear. Even if once I give the money, it's a kinyan moment. So what is it? So by Meile, let's go back to our Shala. Even if we say the Alter Rebbe holds the Kabbalah is not a problem, it is a problem. But if I pay the full amount, it is. What's the issue? You go shit to Rambam. Rambam can choices and the Kam can choices on. But that's only if you didn't pay. Once I paid, that's a kinyan case. Kinyan case, he cannot be choizer. Since he cannot be choizer, the false weg the prima of Rebbe's. Why does the Alter Rebbe write that basically, even in such a case, is also a problem of Rebbe's, even if I paid you the whole thing? That is the issue of the Alter Rebbe. The answer is that Shlomo Klieger, the Gus of Shlomo Klieger, Chacham Shlomo, which he writes, you're right. When I give the money to the Kabbalah, B'toyres Kinyan, that is the contract, so to speak. You don't have to have a contract. But I'm giving you money, and their money is Kinyan Kesef, then Hakl Moidem, in such a case, it's not a problem. He cannot be Choizen, it's just a problem of Rebbe's. The problem goes, that's only if I gave it to his Kinyan. The problem is, Shlomo Klieger, but when a person pays for a Kabbalah, he doesn't think it should be a Kinyan. He pays him, he wants to, how much is it? $100? Do it to me. Over here, have the money in Gangavata. I don't want to, paid in full. I want to be, now I have money, let me pay him off. So can't should be to his Kinyan, can't should be the Lamdas Kinyan. So the Shlomo Klieger, whenever I don't have Kavona, this is on a Kinyan, is it Shekini Kesef? Is it Shekini Kesef? So, nicht pushet, ich will lang so klar, the other person will say, no, the eitzim Sache is I give Geld to a Kinyan, but the Shlomo Klieger is so klar, as if you don't have Kavona, is on a Kinyan, so therefore, is it nicht kein Kinyan, he can be Choizer. So therefore, let's go back, the Alter Rebbe, according to the Shlomo Klieger, is it stimmt es. So again, what is the Alter Rebbe's the kid? The Alter Rebbe says like this, a Kabbalah is also Kli B'nai Yisrael Avudam, it can be Choizer. But, again, if you paid him full, so therefore the Alter Rebbe says a Kabbalah is like Schiriyom. In some of the Gizeh and Rashi Toys says not like this. The Rambam says it's like this. Then we have the second issue is the Alter Rebbe says even if you pay in full. So the Sheikh Shach says clearly that if you pay in full, that's Kini Kesef. We have Shlomo Klieger, which says clearly that's only if Kavanos a Kinyan. If Ein Kavanos a Kinyan, that's not a Kinyan. So therefore it can be still be Choizer. So according to the Alter Rebbe, stimmt sehr git. The Alter Rebbe nimmt also wie der Rambam, and wie der Shlomo Klieger learns Pshat, as even if you didn't make it to the Kinyan. Now, when you hire a person which is a Kabbalah, even according to the Alter Rebbe, if you hire him now and you make with him a Kinyan Kesef, Hossen sind Takis a Kinyan Kesef, and he gives you cheaper, then it's not a problem. But since we don't do that, it doesn't work like that. So therefore, when it comes to camp, nobody gives the money Kinyan. We hold this Kinyan. With them, when you take early bird, it's a problem. So the solution is Taka for Yehuda Green. What is his solution? Taka, you should be able to do it. So there's three solutions. First of all, solution is that basically, as everybody who gives the early bird, so the host and as a that does betoris kinyan, in you cannot be choizer. If you decide you don't want to make a camp, you have to hire. I don't care. You have to misbechtish whatever. So then it's like betoris kinyan. Then it falls away the thing, and the early bird will be fine. The second,
you saw the problem of that he said that the workers are not able to, are not above.
Oh, do keep around Bianca Blois. But he can do it with the workers also. As is a kid. Okay, so this is not okay. But again, but you have a nice point. The second solution is what is the second solution? You take only a part. That means you make a cheshbon. How much is the rent? 20% goes for rent. Since they do a shanakinyan in the chayde cannot be choizen, so therefore on 20% discount you could give. That means you could give a smaller discount of the chayde can give. Third solution is going to be you don't use the money. If you don't use the money, you could use the registration fee. This you could do, and you don't use it. If you don't use it, it's not alvu. It's a pakuden. There are a lot of people do this. I had this solution. A lot of people. I gave them all this the preferred, and they took this because they said, "I don't need it. The money I have, registration fee is enough till camp starts. It's enough for me." The only problem, why do I want to have it? I want to know how many people I'm going to have. I need to know how much staff I have. I want to know where I'm going into. It's not. I need it only. People should pay. As you know, he's committed, but not necessarily. I need the money, the full money. I need Epis money. So if you have 200 children or 600 children, everybody pays $50 registration fee. He has enough a kapunam because he doesn't pay all the workers till they start working. It is only and also the cheder doesn't pay right away. Yeah. It is only he has to buy what?
He pays them at the end of the camp usually.
And the camp, he only has to have he has to have all kind of stuff, with what?
Benutzt das nicht Lopel, aber
Nein,
control.
No, nein. Oiba so klur. Als ich nehme Geld und ich reiße es usen, that means die Gäste sind nicht beteuert, alle beteuert es gut. Ich tue es nicht usen. Aber gut.
Aber sagen das, ne?
Man darf versuchen, avade. So,
Wait a minute.
So that's the second solution. Again, the second solution is, as I mentioned, you don't use it. You don't use it. If you don't use it, the third solution is, which is probably the easiest solution, you say for the people, anybody who pays till like Boimer gets $500 discount, you could pay me with a head check. You could pay me right away, and you could pay me a check till July 1st. Since I am saying you can get this discount. Also, if you don't pay me now, it is only, you show basically that the only kid why I need it is ich will es nicht. Ich will es nur, you have the right to pay then. I don't want it. Such a case, even if the guy, nobody give head checks, but since I gave them the option, you could get this discount also if you don't pay right now. That means ich get nicht the discount because you lend me money, because you don't have to lend me money. And then anybody who pays you right away, you could even use the money. So again, they have four solutions. One solution is don't use it. The second solution is you could make an early bird only on a small part which you have. Third solution is we mentioned the what? You make a Kenyan clue that it does the Kenish choices on. And the fourth solution, which is probably the most practical solution, is I don't know if especially if a person doesn't need taking the money, it says anybody who pays till like Boyman, even if he gives a head check, or even if he gives me the credit card number and I can charge you then even if he gives you right away, then you could use it. And this is the way how Lubavitcher camp should work. And I'm telling you the truth, it's not only Lubavitcher camp. I spoke to my brother-in-law, which is a Dain in Williamsburg. He tells me that he's also passing this, that is a problem, and only these are the solutions which you could do. Other than that, there is an issue.